We're with
Shannon, Ryker,
who is a machinist at Boeing in Seattle, and she's an activist in the local and actually has set up her own Facebook webpage to organize. And you've been struggling for democracy, for membership control, and against concession bargaining. What's happened at Boeing, and why is this important to all machinists and all workers?
The events that occurred during November and December during contract negotiations are important to all labor unions because it sets a precedent and it shows other companies. It's a model for how to get concessionary bargaining and basically topple a big union. And once this contract went into effect, it basically was a blueprint that's going to show exactly how to do it, when to do it, the tactics to use. And we've already seen and witnessed some demise as a result of this last contract. Most of our salary personnel just recently were notified that as of January 2016, they too would go to the 401k model and forfeit their defined pension plan. So we're already seeing the effects of that in the Boeing company, and that wasn't just Puget Sound-wide, that was enterprise-wide. And that's really frustrating because now we have basically an attitude of apathy throughout our company, and we see morale is really low, not only for union employees, but for salary employees as well.
And how many members are there in your local?
Our local has 33,000 members, IAM 751.
Uh-huh.
And we have several locals within that district, including Local A, which voted yesterday on the international president.
And why would the international president, Buffenbarger, tell you to give up a basic gain that you've won over many years, a defined pension, when it's under attack throughout the country, when Boeing is making billions of dollars of profit? I mean, what is causing something like that to basically undercut everything that you've won?
His motivation is really hard to understand. I can only speculate on what his motivation was, especially just this last week they had a contract come out for Palmdale and there was no concessions in that contract. There was only gains. And so I believe, and a lot of people believe, that there's some kind of incentive for Buffenbarger to choose concessionary bargaining for Boeing employees in particular. What that incentive is, it's unknown. But we think it's dues dollars, and that it would keep machinists employed without striking for 10 years, and that it would pad the strike fund. But again, that's speculation.
And your local mobilized, there was a lot of activism, mobilization of membership. What was it like in your local fighting to get a good contract, and what happened?
Back in 2008, when we struck, it was an awesome event. We had so many people all unified. We had when we voted on that contract, the membership, I think it was like 78% voted no and voted yes to sanction strike. And there was so much unity going on. We had thousands of people marching, thousands of people protesting. And this last time, there was a lot of fear, a lot of confusion. We didn't see the movement that we had in 2008. A lot of that, we believe, was due to the contract of 2011, where the company approached us 8 months before the expiration date of our contract and offered us something that we accepted at that time. As a result of that contract, we went for several years without going through the collective bargaining process, and a lot of our new members had never been through the process and didn't understand it. So when we were faced with it a second time, they were unsure of what to do. And we didn't have strike power. So a lot of people were scared to take any action at all because we didn't know what we legally could and couldn't do.
You have a T-shirt, American Labor Betrayed.
Right.
What does that mean?
So During the last contract offer, we had our governor against us. We had a lot of state and local officials against us. They were pushing us and urging us to vote yes on a concessionary contract. And we also had our international union pushing us to vote yes, while our local district was pushing us to vote no. That created a lot of turmoil within the membership, a lot of confusion within the membership, and ultimately our international pushed us to vote for this contract during a time when the maximum amount of members would be on vacation during the Christmas holiday. And that was a strategic choice, and there has been some Grand Lodge representatives that admitted to that was a date that they chose specifically because they knew the amount of people that had vacation slips in. And so that is a betrayal to the membership. You are, as a leader, you are required to represent the members and to serve their best interest. When you pull tactics like that, you are no longer serving your membership, and it is time for you to go.
And there's a rebellion, or there's an opposition candidate in the IAM running against Buffenbarger. There's going to be a union election for the first time in probably many years.
It's already underway. Members started voting as on April 1st. We had several districts throughout the United States vote on April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And the majority of those voted unanimously for reform. And so this is kind of exciting because it's a trend that we see. We see more people jumping on board. There was a lot of fear in the membership that being outspoken about the reform ticket, it would create problems and controversy within the international. We have been attacked. We have had our international president has fired people, has demoted people, has taken a lot of steps to put fear in the membership. And as a result, people were quiet, but now we see them coming out of the woodwork.
And what would it mean? What do you think a new administration of the IAM, which is a very important union, should do to resuscitate your union, the Boeing workers, and labor in general?
I think that a change in leadership is important because we need someone who's going to stand and serve the membership. What that looks like is listening to the members' feedback, changing bylaws, changing the structure of the dues, changing the structure of how we do concessionary bargaining, no longer allowing Boeing or other companies to come in mid-contract without allowing a strike vote. These are changes that we want to see happen, and these are changes that Jay Cronk has said that he would work on tirelessly with us to see them happen.
Now, I mean, your concession contract is not the first.
No.
It seems like there are many unions around the United States
Yes.
that are having concession contracts. Do you think if you're able to get a new president, if you're able to make this change, there can be a change within the entire labor movement against concession bargaining?
That's what we're hoping will happen. One of the goals of Rosie Machinists 751 is to unify different labor unions and different labor groups for the sole purpose of creating a new labor movement and to stop the concessionary bargaining, to stop corporate interest involvement in the bargaining process, and to stop political involvement in the bargaining process, which was one of the things that was detrimental to us, but it was also detrimental to the VW workers as well.
And you talk about the politicians intervening on the side of the company. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the idea of a labor party, of the unions having their own political party?
I think it's time for us to see labor candidates and to support labor candidates. Our district has decided that they would not support Rick Larson, who is our current congressman and is a Democrat. And who they are going to endorse at this time is unknown. In a couple of weeks, we'll have a COPE conference, and a lot of those candidates will be asking for endorsements. And I have been pushing that anyone who has supported the concessionary contract that we just had voted in should not receive any endorsements from any labor union as a result of their actions.
Now, Shama Sawant, who was elected City Council of Seattle, she did support you, and she said that the workers should run Boeing. if you know they continue to threaten to take away jobs? Do you think the workers can run Boeing?
Well, I think that that's what Boeing used to be. If you look at the history of Boeing and the history of the leadership of Boeing, we used to have engineers running our company, engineers making decisions, engineers telling us how we should build airplanes, working with us on contracts. Now we have corporate people running it who don't really know anything about building airplanes, who don't know about the importance of having people who know how to read blueprints and have finite skills. That's where the breakdown's happening. They think they can get cheap, unskilled labor and then build a successful product.
And in South Carolina, they tried that. What happened in South Carolina?
I think we all know what happened in South Carolina.
What happened?
We're still not making profit. And as the news has already let everyone know, we are basically having to bring those airplanes to Washington State to finish them. And there's a lot of people who are upset about the outcome of that project. And one of the main things that a lot of us machinists believe is that the concessionary contract has nothing to do with being competitive with Airbus and everything to do with the outcome of the 787 project.
Okay, so what do you say to other American trade unionists, American workers, about your struggle?
Be supportive, be involved, get out there, talk to your membership, rally your membership, because if you don't, they will be the ones who are next. You need to get the membership active. Apathy is our enemy. Apathy is what has caused the demise of our union, and apathy is what we're battling against right now as we are trying to vote for reform and oust Buffenbarger.
And what has been the effect of your Facebook page and social media?
We have seen a really positive effect. Not only are IAM 751 members on our page, but we're seeing different unions supporting us, different unions actively becoming involved in our fight. Not only that, but we're also seeing Democratic officials, socialists, we're seeing all kinds of different political groups watching what we're doing, wanting to help. We were actually successful in getting a couple different legislative districts for the Democrats in Washington State to censure Inslee for his actions against us in the contract.
And how many people are watching your Facebook page?
We have 3,049 as of today. So it's growing.
And actually now the local leadership is helping you with it or supporting it or helping to publicize it?
The local leadership is involved and is supportive of what we're doing. I talk with them and they are wanting to have town meetings. They're wanting to actively engage with the membership. They believe that what we're doing is to help bring the membership in, and they support that. And
do you support the idea of a labor channel?
I do.
National labor channel.
I think it's a great idea. Sometimes you become really disconnected in what's happening in other unions and other bargaining groups, and a labor channel where all these groups can come together and talk about what's affecting them on a particular day or a particular hour is something that is lacking, because we need to be able to spread the word and as a labor community come together.
Okay, so you're optimistic.
You call me optimistic, but I started out with 8 people. and now we're over at 3,000, and now my international president is personally attacking me and my Rosie Machinists
page. What does
he
say? What did your international president say?
He's called me a socialist. He's called me a cronkette. He has attacked us, saying that we're out to ruin the democracy of the union. And which is laughable, because the very thing that we're trying to do is to restore democracy to our union, to allow our members to vote not only for president but for contract issues without them intervening. So it's totally ludicrous that he would even say or assume that I'm anti-democratic.
But he feels threatened by your Facebook page. The fact that he would attack you.
Obviously.
I mean,
Yes. I just take it with a grain of salt. I look at his actions as, basically, he feels backed into a corner at this point because he is seeing the success of what we've done.
How can people get to your Facebook page?
They can visit our Facebook page by going to Rosie's Machinists 751, no space in between those words, or they can visit our newly developed website at www.rosiesmachinists.net.